Hi, this is Popeye from your favorite train wreck. I love listening to Fistful of Podcast Radio, but I'm usually too drunk when I'm listening to remember what they said, so why don't you listen for me and let me know what happened? Although I'll probably be drunk then too, so never mind.
Reach the
So, before we actually get into your VO stuff, I want to address one thing.
Sure.
Because something happens in the Monroe Doctrine that's a double dip. So, in the track, I Hope You're Unhappy, which, P.S., awesome song. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Top 3 breakup songs, in my opinion.
Oh, thanks.
It's you, B.B. King, and I haven't decided a third one yet. So, it's, slots open, people.
I'm in good company. All right.
So you do 2 things in this. Number 1, you break the fourth wall, which I like. I don't think that people reference that they're in songs. Like, and for good reason, obviously. But I think this one really works out because you mention, still having a job, having a new LP released, and still being in school. And I think that is awesome. It's like a little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
But it's probably got, and I'm sure you've heard people be like, oh, this is the best quote of the blah, 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 and everybody's blowing smoke up your ass, but this is legitimate. Maybe the best identifier of you as a person, how fair you are as a person, because it is a breakup song, and you want her to be miserable, but not more miserable than you, only just as.
Correct. Yes.
Only just as. And that, my friend, is some, next level King Solomon type shit. If you can think of someone who basically wrecked your life and you hope that they're miserable, but you can stop yourself at being like, here's the limit, so once you hit there, you're off the hook.
Yeah.
I fucking love that song, dude.
Thank you. That's super flattering for you to say, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I have to get all these notes out because I've been taking notes on your albums for weeks, and if I don't say them into a microphone, my head will explode.
No, I get it. No, yeah. To me, the song was really more about. To me, the song was more about self-empowerment, and
yeah.
And when you go through a breakup and then you have that conversation with, well, can we still be friends? And then you come to that realization where you think, do I really want to be friends with you? Not that I hate you, but what is the point of being friends?
Yeah.
Can I please just move on? And I don't want anything bad to happen to you, but I probably wouldn't care if something bad happened to you. Either way, I want to move on. And so please stop calling me to ask me how I'm doing just to be friends. Because I don't want to get together for coffee and so who are you dating now? I don't fucking care. Just
Popeye,
do your thing and let me do my
blowing
thing.
Past, you are spending so much time on the set dressing and blowing past the point here. The point, because you're everybody. Listen, I understand everybody's got those tendencies, but it takes a critical, analytical mind to assess the situation. Any one of us can get broken up with and be like, I hope you die, bitch, and go on a bender. But not very many people on this planet Earth today have the kind of analytical mind to take something incredibly emotional, break down logically, and be like, here's what's fair. Ta-da!
Yeah.
Well, that, again, kind of you to say, but I don't think you're giving humanity enough credit because I think a lot of people feel that way. And
sure.
And the thing is, when I brought that song to Farside practice, I was like, well, here's a song. You guys are probably going to hate it, but here it is. And it turned out to be one of our better songs that people like you connected with most of all. But you don't know. You're just kind of putting your thoughts out there. But I can definitely say thank you again for thinking that I'm on the level level of Einstein, but no, you're just putting words on a piece of paper, and you're like, well, here's what I'm thinking right now, and I don't know if it's going to make a difference, and it might get shit canned, but here it is, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
If it makes you feel better, these are all fan theories that I have backed into. Like, I've just taken the context clues like that, but that's Popeye, you're like, I didn't think about it. Of course you didn't. You don't think about art. You experience it, you create it, and you put it out there. Like, if you had to sit down and be like, you know what, let's dissect this song before I really get you. Don't do that. Don't ever do that.
No,
it needs to be connected directly to your heart, so that guys like me can come along and be like, aha, I got my notepad here. I better take some shit down because this is fascinating, psychology.
Good for you, and I hope for the best for your son when he goes through his first breakup, and you're like, well, here's the thing. Like,
listen, I've got some notes for you to read and a song that I need you to listen to.
Okay, yeah, exactly. It's cheaper than therapy. That's all it is. It's just like, I'm just going to jot some stuff down. Maybe it's going to work. Maybe it's not. And who knows? That was the whole point. Just like doing a band in the first place. And if you hadn't noticed, I'm trying to downplay everything you're saying to me right now.
Which isn't helping my case.
Right. It's a little uncomfortable, and
I know
because I don't think of myself that way, but I'm happy to talk about it because I like the challenge of taking myself out of my comfort zone. But
I should have completely put a disclaimer at the front of the show, being like,
no, you should not have, because I like the. No, I like being blindsided like this because this is why I have these big fat drinks in my hand.
Listen, if someone, God forbid, if someone ever takes a look at my work critically and wants to talk to me about it, I would probably feel the same way.
Great. What are you doing Monday?
Uh-oh. I think I got a stream planned.
Really? Because my wife is a job recruiter and works in human resources. I have some notes as well. I'd like to. and my sister is an accountant, so yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's talk numbers, bro.
Ruh-roh.
No, it's all right. It just, like I said, I do admittedly kind of suffer from stage fright, and so I kind of go into a little bit of a panic every time I do something like this or play a show. So I just try to pump it up and try to,
Well, that just makes you a person.
Yeah, that's part of it, dude. Like, that's your brand. You're a human, so you get flummoxed by human interaction and human foibles.
Yeah, this is why I live in Scranton and focus on meal planning.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with this stuff. Cats don't talk back too much.
Nope. So okay. So now that I've got out of the way, I'm going to try and move on and talk to you about something that I'm not going to completely gush over. But if you pull up Popeye here on the internet, he's got quite a long IMDb of VO work.
Yeah.
And even if it's just bit parts or whatever, if you want to downplay these two, fine.
No, I'll talk about that
okay,
forever.
Good. Because we've got Fallout,
because I can't even believe that I got to make money doing that stuff either.
So what? So pick your favorite. Pick your favorite VO. Tell me what it's like. Walk me through it.
Oh man. Well, I got to be George Clooney once.
Really?
What?
That was pretty cool. Yeah, for the movie Up in the Air.
Oh.
When it was when was that? I know it was a while ago. I know it was a while back. It was nominated for Best Picture. But they for movies they have to do the PG versions that they show on, so they can show them on TV and on airplanes. So not that there was a lot of cussing, but every time George Clooney would say "ah shit," I would say "ah shoot." And so I got to be George Clooney for about 45 minutes, and I'll tell you, when I left Warner Brothers Studio and I marched right over to Subway and bought the biggest, most expensive sandwich that they had, and I felt
hell of a celebration, like
a rock star. And I was like, "Yeah, you got to be George Clooney for a few minutes."
Yeah, you got to be Clooney's shit double.
Yeah, and the best part about it was that there were like 20 other guys in the waiting room who were all auditioning, and they were just super actory guys, like, well, you know what I've worked on, and hey, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting in the corner, not saying a word, and thinking, God, you're exactly the kind of person I don't want to be. And then we're all just waiting there for like a half hour, and then the casting director came into the waiting room and said, hey, I just want to thank you all for being here. But Popeye, could you come into the room?
Woo!
And then I just got the nastiest looks from all these guys. And meanwhile, I'm thinking, hey, fuck you, motherfuckers. Fuck you. I fucking beat all your asses. You fucking actory pieces of shit who just want to get your egos fed. I'm just trying to make a paycheck right now. And then I went in and I got to be George Clooney for 45 minutes. And it was a great day.
Listen, would you rather have an oak desk or something with so many layers of veneer, it's almost unrecognizable?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get into voiceovers to be famous. I just wanted to make money. Just have a job. And like I've gotten to work on a lot of video games, which are my favorite thing because
I can imagine.
Oh my God, because it's like when you're a kid and you get to have like the most. When you're playing like cops and robbers and no, it's my turn to die. And then like you do that 100 times. Like, okay, now you're falling off a cliff, but it's a short cliff. Now you're falling off a medium cliff. Now you're falling off a long cliff. And now you're getting stabbed in the neck with a knife. And now you're getting stabbed in the stomach. And now you're getting clubbed over the head with a bat, but not a big bat. But now you're getting clubbed over the head with a really big bat.
Crazy direction to receive.
Oh yeah, just over and over and over and over and over again. So you're screaming at the top of your lungs, and it taps into that punk rock vocalist kind of things. Like, yeah, I can scream at the top of my lungs. Like, you better believe I can scream at the top of my lungs. And it's amazing. So that's all good. But then it's fun to also do like automated voicemail systems, which I've done a lot of. Thank you for calling Fuck Your Face Incorporated. Your call is very important to us. Please hang on the line. Love that, because you still have to, you got to be a kid. Right. You have to pretend like, well, I'm this person that cares about this company, even though I've never heard of it.
You get to be the dude with the plastic hair.
Oh, my God.
Plastic hair and the big shoulder pads on the phone.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
Absolutely.
What a fucking great day to be alive.
It's brilliant. Yeah. No, it's a...
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, I got lucky. I just figured out a thing that works for me, and then I get to again spend more time doing meal planning and taking care of animals. So it's good.
I always thought I would be great at VO if my voice didn't get stuck halfway through puberty. If it kept going.
I think you have a fantastic voice.
But this isn't the voice of a product.
What are you talking about? It absolutely is. That's part of the problem. Everybody has a voice, but most people don't think they have one. And it's just like how you were talking about playing music and why I'm kind of downplaying it. Because if you think about the billions of people on the planet who can play a musical instrument and carry a tune, but very few of them. Everyone's just afraid to get out there, and that's part of it. It's just
scary.
You are gonna make a fool out of yourself a lot of times in a very very big way in front of a lot of people. But if you can get over that, you might actually be able to, make a few bucks out of it. So
that's the thing, and I think now, agree or disagree. I want to get your thoughts on this.
I disagree.
Feels, damn it. Well, then that means I've got to ring the buzzer.
All right.
The disagree buzzer. So, but I feel like that sort of thing is a switch. Like you build up, and I think the first time you get on stage, that switch is flipped and it's always on. So you can always go back. No matter how scared you are, you know that you can go back to that venue, to that stage, to that whatever. But to get enough pressure to flip that switch, man, some people never do it. Even doing like karaoke and stuff, or doing this show, or what, anytime I have the opportunity to make a jackass of myself in front of people at large, I'm okay with it because I've already done it. I've already embarrassed myself. It's over.
Yeah.
So I just keep coming back because that switch is flipped. It's always on now.
I agree. But the switch will turn off, but then you have to agree to. That's the first step.
Yeah.
Can I switch that? Can I switch that flip on? And yeah, and that's yeah. Just
right?
I don't like performing that much, but I like scaring myself, if that makes any sense.
I get that. I get that totally.
Yeah, because you have to become a different person.
Right.
And so but I also want to be a nice guy, and someone says, "Hey, do you want to," like the live stream I did that you tuned into recently? It's like, "Hey, you want to do this thing?" And my first thought was, "Oh God, no." But then I thought, "Yep, I'm in."
Yeah.
And then it's stress time, and then it heightens your game, and it does take you out of your comfort zone, and I think that is healthy for you. And trying to find a balance, like between, God, I'm going to sound like such a hippie, but it's really easy to take off in that plane. It's a little harder to land that plane afterwards.
Right.
That's why I typically go into the backyard and start gardening or whatever, because I just don't want to think about it. But yeah,
it's very scary. Like
it is. Yeah.
But the desire, that's what separates, the mediocre from those who make it or break it. If you can flip that switch, I respect that. Even if you suck, like getting over the hump of like getting in front of people and putting yourself on the line, completely exposed, and doing art, comedy, whatever it is.
Meal planning,
cat rescue, whatever it is you're doing on stage, there's a good chance that people will think you're shit at it because it is your first time, and it will scare you. But once that switch is like, that's the thing. And you can't explain that to someone who hasn't had that switch flipped yet.
Yeah.
You say, just do it. And they go, no. And they'll go to the grave saying no.
That's me.
And regretting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went to visit Andy and Adam, usual co-hosts of the show, in Reno. And every time I go out of the state, out of my comfort zone, I say, it's time for karaoke. You know why? Because it's fucking scary. I'm on vacation, and it's...
Oh, my God.
And it's something that's going to push my boundaries.
Oh, my God. I love karaoke.
I do, too. But I can't admit it to people because everyone will say, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and no one will go with me.
No. That's... You know what?
I need a
Fuck
karaoke
them.
person.
Yeah. Okay, dude. Well, next time I'm in Mesa...
Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We'll fucking destroy whatever place you want. We can just go in your backyard. We'll just do it.
I would buy a karaoke setup.
It's the same thing. Like I actually have sung in front of live audiences, but God, I want to do karaoke so bad all the time.
It's so low stakes
because it's still frightening, and it's kind of fun to be frightened. It's like doing
it's frightening in a controllable way. It's watching a Friday the 13th.
Yes, exactly. Or like bungee cord jumping.
Yes.
Or
you say, I want to get scared. I don't want to get murdered.
Yes, correct.
Yes, I want to. You say, because performing like a concert is like that's life changing. Going to a bar and playing karaoke, or after you're however many drinks into being shit faced, is it's Halloween 3. It's scary.
I don't know,
but you're gonna, at the end of the day, you're gonna walk away and maybe forget about the finer points of it, but it'll be done and you'll have had a good time.
I don't know. I kind of feel like when you're in a band and you're playing on stage, there's lots of people who are around you making sure that everything sounds good.
But that just adds more pressure because there's more pieces of that machine to go wrong. And the more complex something gets, the better it has at breaking apart. Karaoke is you run up there, you sing, and then you run back to your seat.
Yeah, but nobody's got your back when you're doing karaoke.
True. But since the stakes are so low, like the next dude who...
I disagree. I think the stakes are way higher when you're doing karaoke because... There's just a guy with a laptop, and he's like, "What song do you want to do? Here's the tip jar," and you gotta fucking make it work with a microphone and nothing else. When you're on stage, when you're on stage with a band, there's even if you're playing in the cheapest, diviest place, there's still a sound man and a PA system and there's monitors and microphones all over the place. And not if, but when you fuck up, nobody's going to notice it. And the lights are going to be great. When you go up there for karaoke, that's naked stuff, man. So when you go up there and sing, "Don't pour your love out on me, baby," you better fucking bring it. Otherwise, otherwise your community is going to laugh at you for the rest of your life. That's it.
It's two, in my personal experience in karaoke, I feel it's two sides of the same coin. If you're live and the people love you, they'll forgive because they're coming to the show. They paid, money for a ticket to see you, or you're the opener or whatever. So they're obligated to at least enjoy themselves monetarily.
Yeah.
So people will overlook that. In karaoke, it's the other side. People give so little of a fuck. Like, I went to a karaoke bar and a guy sang "Simple Kind of Man" completely flat. As if he were talking into a toilet bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm familiar with that performance, yes.
But and that's the thing, no one gave a fuck. He got to walk away being like, "Yep, did it." Fist bump, silent, yes, off the bucket list. And no one else gave a shit. So he got to feel good and everyone got to ignore him.
Huh.
Which is my audience.
Well, what did he leave right afterwards, or did he hang out?
He did not sing anymore, but since he wasn't booed off stage, when he gave the mic back to the dude, there was like a knowing nod of, "Yep, fucking nailed it."
Did it.
I love that wink of like, he just fucking bombed, but he gives it like a bing, did it, done it, off the bucket list. Now it's back to my Coors Light and the Suns game. And that's the beauty of it. Like, some jackass in a sports jersey can roll up onto the stage, live out a Neil Diamond fantasy. Everyone will pay no attention. He'll feel great. He'll go sit down and be like, "Yep, I'm calling the wife. Did it. Neil Diamond off the bucket list. Click. Glug, glug, glug." That sort of thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is a very valid perspective. I get it.
It just depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, because, I just know that when I do Joe Jackson's issue really going out with him, I want to embody the whole thing. And, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I didn't know how to respond to what you just said, because you win. You win this argument. You win this debate.
No, because you're an artist.
Yeah,
I'm saying karaoke is built for the dude who goes to work 9 to 5, puts on his hard hat, takes it off, and then goes and drowns his sorrows in beer at the local watering hole. But you and I jump into that, and they're like, and our mentality, because I want to make a fucking show out of it. I want to, whoever I'm singing as, I'm going to get as close to their voice as I can, and I'm going to shake it a little.
There you go.
There's no reason not to.
Yeah, man. And, you could feel super awesome about yourself if you can be off book. Like, well, here's the lyrics.
Yeah.
"I don't need the lyrics, for the boys are back in town, my friend. Here's your $2. Guess who just got back today?" And then you just,
But that's the double bonus, because if you can turn these jaded assholes in this bar from completely paying zero attention to the karaoke stage to just turning and even giving you a slight clap, that is a Sisyphusian task.
Would you remember repeating that phrase, please?
Sisyphus was the Greek character who's constantly pushing the boulder up the hill.
Great.
So if you can turn a dive bar karaoke night...
Wait a minute. Okay, come on. Sisyphusian. You really...
Sisyphusian.
No, come on. You can't just throw that out casually.
I do it all the time, but think
Really?
of a different way to describe it.
I don't know. The little engine that could...
Nope, because the boulder's coming back. The engine
that
could does. Sisyphus gets right back down to the bottom of the hill.
I'm just giving you shit, and if you had a couple of Trulies, I'm impressed by your ability of proper enunciation. Sisyphusian.
I don't have a very deep, but I have a very wide breadth of buzzwords.
Okay, you also used the word breadth, and you pronounced it very, very well. Well, this is good for you.
I have this conversation umpteen times a week because I said I was working at some place and I used the word maw. I was making fun of some hillbilly who I was interacting with. I turned and I'm like, "Oh, this guy's maw hanging open, flies going in and out." And the guy's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Maw? Oh, you didn't see his mouth? It was hanging open." His mom.
Yeah, there are times where he says things to me and I'm like, what? What did you just say to me?
The penalties of reading books.
Oh, yeah, I know. No,
I read books.
I'm only making fun of you because that's what I do. Like when Stephanie says, would you like some watermelon? And I say, no, I would not. And she's like, why did you have to speak to me that way? I'm like, I don't know.
If you class it up every once in a while, it'll knock people off balance just enough that they're like, is this guy smart? I love
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. If I can trick people into thinking like, oh my God, this guy's deep, even for a second, I'll do it.
Yeah. I just try to, I do kind of make it a bit of a mission in my life. When I go to the grocery store, or more often the liquor store, and and they're trained to say, how you doing? And I say, just fine, thanks. How are you?
Very well.
Very well, thank you. How about yourself? Oh, that's fantastic. And I want it, just like it's like doing karaoke. It's like, I want to make a show of this because I want you to know that I appreciate what you're doing. And I want to brighten up your day if I can, even though I just want my vodka or, my vegan mayonnaise or whatever I'm buying right now.
Pineapple juice.
But
yeah, exactly.
It cuts both ways because you not only wake them up out of their, malaise and the stupor that they've been exposed to being behind the counter at some, dead-end job or whatever. So it sort of brings them back to life. Sure. But it also makes them think like, oh, this guy's classy as shit.
Well, I mean, that's probably not going to happen. They're like, okay, credit or debit. Yeah.
But there's a chance. I can't tell you. I used to be an electrician. And so working in the trades, my vocabulary. Seriously.
Wait, you want to talk about me music career, but you work in billing, and before that, you were an electrician. So now there's another thing that you do that I have no fucking concept about. You fucking asshole.
Do you want to? Here's a crash course. Do meth, get hired. The end. That's how you be an electrician in Arizona. There's no union.
Do meth?
Do meth.
Do meth.
Listen.
No, it's cool. I'll stick with the vodka.
On the outside of the trades, it seems like a very noble thing because you're like, these are the salt of the earth. They're building America. But then you get into the trades and you realize how much of America is actually running on pure Monster energy drink and like speed.
Wow.
For real. This is way off topic, by the way. But
I didn't know we were sticking to a topic in the first place.
We're off the rails. This second half is fun.
Fuck yeah, it is. Yeah.
When I was an electrician, I had an assistant who was literally 20 years older than me. I was 20, he was 40. My assistant, he was. And he was in charge of keeping the cart clean. Oh, and also getting pranked constantly. But whatever. Moral of the story is, you show basic competence in the trades, you're a fucking superstar. And that's what I was. That's why I had a 40-year-old working for my ass at 20.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Great. Well, I'm just going to say that I'm happy for YouTube videos. When there's a light bulb that's not working, that's when I go there. But wow, and you have the nerve to talk about my career in journalism and how it wasn't exactly what you thought it was going to be, and that there were crazy people and all that kind of stuff. And we're not even talking about music anymore. Like, that's another fucking universe of craziness. We're just talking about and this is again backing up. Everybody's got an interesting story. What you do for a living, it's interesting. I promise it's interesting.
But Popeye, it's on a scale. You have to keep in mind it's on a scale.
Dude, you just talked about having a fucking meth head for an assistant while you were an electrician.
But how is that any more
interesting? How is that any more interesting than like, oh yeah, I got to record a 7-inch in somebody's basement and played a couple of shows and stuff. Dude, what you fucking did? Way more interesting to me.
Yeah, but we can listen to the things that you did in a basement.
Oh, I don't know. I hear some crackling up in my roof right now. That's pretty interesting.
Listen, But give me, you pick the person. I don't care who. You pick the person. I don't care if they're partial or impartial. And we ply our cases. And at the end of our arguments, we say, now, sir or madam, in your humble opinion, who do you think had the most interesting life? Do you think they're going to be like, well, he did work with the guy on Speed? You released multiple records.
It depends on your perspective.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This guy, cornerstone of Orange County punk rock. This guy used to spit a lot of sunflower seeds on the floor. Let's fucking.
I'm his wife, and I'd rather hear about your station wagon songs.
If
ba 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 ba.
Yeah. If you're like, hey, you want to hear a story about how we all sang songs back in the 70s in our station wagon on the way to places that we had no radio coverage? And I'm like, hey, you want to hear about the time I got into a porta-john just to escape the miserable time that was my life for 5 fucking minutes?
Oh, that's a great story.
One thing I'll tell you, the funniest thing you will encounter as a tradesman is shithouse graffiti. It is number one, surprisingly clever, which I think is just a relic of a bygone era.
Oh yeah, I want to bring it back.
It's crazy. It's insanely honest and also surprisingly clever considering the caliber of people that I used to work with.
Well, okay. Elaborate. Because you were just... admittedly, you were just making me think about Janet, who can I turn to? Otherwise, I guess I haven't been in a porta potty for a while, so
it's not an experience you want to go back to.
No,
I don't know, man. I kind of dig the adventure. Well, but hey, I'm also a guy, so I don't have to. I can stand. I could just. I pissed in a lot of trash cans over the years. I was just like, well, no one's gonna really notice. So a porta potty, it's like it's not a big deal, but I want your thoughts. Here's
my thoughts on a porta potty. A porta potty is a little blue plastic microcosm of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
It is a showcase of independent art.
Mm-hmm.
It is a receptacle of the worst sort of asshole that you can imagine.
Sure.
Both physically and metaphorically.
Yes.
It's a place where you can go and just be alone, but you're miserable there. So it's
true.
You walk the line.
Yeah.
So it's the human experience in a fucking tiny plastic shell full of shit. It's artistic expression. It's human interaction. It's fucking over the next guy because fuck you, I got mine.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And there's shit in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's shit in it for
That's
sure.
Life.
But I guess for me, I think of it as I like puzzles. And so
a good mystery.
It's like So when I go in and it's like, okay, I'm gonna check this out, and how does this work, and what's this other thing over here, and how am I gonna figure this out, and how is this going to stimulate my brain a little bit?
Yeah.
But then my other thought is, who the fuck walks into a porta potty? Okay. Here's the thing: who walks around with a fucking Sharpie in their pants in the first place? Unless you have a plan, like, man, if I come across a fucking porta potty, I'm fucking ready to fucking 8675309 that shit, bro.
This might crack your mind a little bit, but if the porta-john is on a work site or job site, literally every dude on that, every man, woman, child, animal has a Sharpie in their pocket because you literally use them all the time, no matter what the trade.
Okay.
When you encounter them in like in the wild at like a concert or whatever, that guy planned ahead.
That makes perfect sense.
Job site is convenience.
Job site, that makes sense. I was thinking more about like, I went to the Renaissance Fair.
But that's the thing.
There's a lot of Shakespearean quotes inside this porta potty right now.
You go to a Ren fair, you go to a concert, you expect to see eclectic shit written on the walls of the shithouse because people are going to do that no matter what. My thing is, when I interact with these people on a daily basis and their entire life goal is to just make it to the weekend so they can open up that Coors Light and get on the river with their tube, I find it hard to square that with the fact that I'm seeing limericks and like Poe's style comments and legitimate artistic renderings of people and places that I can connect to on a visceral level. I think, who the fuck is doing this? Is there an artist who's just sneaking onto the job site to take a shit and also make a commentary about like the lowbrow society that I'm a part of?
Well, what have we been talking about this whole time?
Music?
No, you and I are, well, I wouldn't say that we're lowbrow, but we have our jobs. True. And then when we have our free time, we go out and do artistic stuff. And some people have access to properly working microphones, and some of us have access to musical instruments, and some of us have access to a Sharpie.
Right. And that's the thing. So here's what I'm going to run up your flagpole, because it's gaining more and more credibility as I tell people, only in my head, though. I think that everybody on the planet can be sliced right down the center into two separate groups. You are either someone who can take orders, put their head down, be a worker bee, and you don't need any creative fulfillment. You just get out on the weekend, you get your four-wheeler, you do shooting, fishing, etc. You live life, fulfilling a purpose, and that's you. And then you got people like you and I who don't know what we should be doing, but we're going to try almost everything to see what fits. And it's... I think that literally all of humanity can be split down the center, whether you have the ability to express your desires or not, because some people are forced into worker bee positions that shouldn't be, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. But I think if you walk up to someone and say, here is a crayon and a piece of paper, half the population will look at you and be like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? I got to go to work. And the other half will give you a really great Ninja Turtle drawing or something. Mm. So, agree or disagree? Hot button issue.
Well, I don't want to disappoint you, but I feel like I'm more on the first half of that argument.
I'm sorry, Popeye, but this is the first time we were actually going to legitimately disagree rather, because you are totally wrong.
Okay,
sorry.
Well, okay, no, thanks. Thanks for telling me who I am, Dave. Appreciate that.
Listen, you come to me.
I came
and
to
you say, hey, my name's Popeye, and I did journalism. I did this, I did that. I say, yeah, this guy puts his head down. He's a good guy, but he does what's needed to be done.
Puts his head down, does what's needed to be done. That's my first thought. That's what I feel like I need to be doing, and that's what mostly satisfies me. Yeah. I mentioned I joke about the meal planning, but I really think about this like every day. Like, oh fuck, do we have enough groceries? Do the rabbits have enough food? And all that stuff. And the thing is, that satisfies me to make sure that that's all good to go.
I'm not saying you can't.
In my spare time, then yeah, if you give it, because again, if you give me a piece of paper and a crayon, I'm just gonna list out like, okay, what do we have in the fridge?
Crappy example.
Yeah, so I definitely lean more left brain, but I got some right brain action happening. We're doing it right now.
Here's the problem, Popeye. You're breaking down critically what I'm trying to express to you generally, because here's the thing. Critical thinking people and artistic thinking people like you and me will be like, actually, when all the square pegs who are like, put their head down will be like, yes, I agree. So yeah, you proved my point. In your face, man.
Oh, snap.
Snap.
Shit.
Because if you were like, let's say you were a carpenter for 40 years and this interview weren't taking place, I'd be like, yeah, this guy, he's a peg. When you are given space, like obviously everybody's got to have a full-time job to stay alive.
Yeah.
At least until they take off or something, whatever the case may be. No one starts in a vacuum and just explodes. That part doesn't cheapen the actual half that you are that differentiates you from a worker bee. You can say, yeah, I can put my head down. I like planning meals, but God damn it, when I'm off the clock, I'm picking up a guitar.
Yeah, but you gave me a like you get two choices with this answer, and so I had to pick one. I still tried to dip over in the other, but no, I mean. No, your point is very valid. But
that is the caveat, is that if you critically think about it, one can slip into the other, but the other will never slip into its counterpart. Like a worker bee will never surprise you by being like, oh yeah, I came home from my work at the office being a CPA and I loomed up a medieval tapestry. Oh, never going to happen.
I get. Well, apparently you haven't known too many worker bees, Dave, because the ones in our garden, they bring us the most glorious bouquet. I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh, now okay, Popeye, we're gonna have to start going into more minutia because here's another caveat. God damn it! Quit picking apart my arguments. A worker bee can
just try to keep it light, man.
Here's the thing, but it's brilliant because Krista sitting across from me, she is a worker bee. Yep. And worker bees can express creativity through paint by numbers, by diamond art, by following a pattern that results
structured
in a concrete ending.
Yeah.
All right. So for a minute, Dave, would you mind if Krista and I talked for a minute, because I don't know a lot about Krista. She's been chiming in, and no, she's been very nice, and she tuned in to the sound check earlier in this week, and she friend requested me. I accepted.
I did.
Popeye, it's you.
It's you. I was like, I need to, because I listen to the music all the time now. I need to know more about you.
Well, I want to know more about you, Krista. Like, what do you do? Like, your husband and I have just been jaw-jacking like a couple of fucking.
Well, it's his show, and you're the guest. I just sit here.
But fuck that. You're here. I want to know about you. What's going on? I want to know about you too.
Crack it open, Krista.
Like we're becoming friends. Like, your husband just said you're a worker bee, and
Now I'm sweating.
No, it's all right. So am I. This is why I'm drinking. That's why I'm drinking heavily. I want to know what what's.
Without me pressuring you, would you appraise yourself rather as a worker bee whose sole function, primary function, despite whatever other side effects are, to be a follower of the rules, to fill in spreadsheets, or are you more freewheeling?
No, I'm absolutely...
Two types of people. You say, I'm starting this because I see a concrete goal, or I see this because there's potential and I'm going to make a crazy piece of art.
No,
Krista,
I'm
go.
Absolutely a worker bee. I mean, my job is... my full-time job is I am a research data specialist where I literally go through documents and stuff, and I put in like research studies into a computer system.
It's incredibly eye-crossing and tedious.
It is.
Yeah. Is there a specific
what's the genre of your work?
It's healthcare related.
I don't want to. Okay.
Healthcare related research.
Okay. Like Dave. Okay.
Yeah, more geared toward cancer research studies, but I do like Alzheimer's and children's and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
But to me, all I'm doing is putting data into a computer system. But to somebody else, I guess it seems like something different. But
no, you're not. Dudes, I fucking bark into a microphone. You guys fucking do stuff that matters.
I want to keep going with this, Popeye, but I also want to call attention to and break the fourth wall for a moment.
I want to keep talking to your wife, if you don't mind.
I do. I will let you, but I want to call attention to the fact that this is...
I'm having a conversation over here.
This is the only episode where the interviewee is like, wait, let's turn the tables, and I give a shit about you now.
Right. Yeah, nobody's ever asked about... Us. No. Especially not me, because I'm curious.
Healthcare is important. Data is important. I want to know.
We wouldn't have had TNG without him.
That's true.
A bigger. What's that?
I said we wouldn't have had TNG without him. Data.
Right.
Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
The next one. That's where you draw the line with me. That is your limit. Oh my gosh!
No, I also just I wanted to give Krista some attention because she's been a willing participant in this whole thing while you and I are getting drunk. I hope she is too. But
listen, I have a drink. This will only serve to prove my point.
Good.
This will only serve to prove my point. So please, by all means, gather what data you deem necessary to conclude my argument.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a worker bee. I mean,
okay. Well,
my creativity is diamond art, which is paint by numbers with diamond art.
Okay. Cool. Right on.
cool.
He's like, okay, back to you, Dave, because she's boring.
No, I don't really have any hobbies. I just no, but I get it. No, again, I think it goes back to everybody has a story, and I greatly appreciate you dissecting the lyrics of the songs that I've written and stuff. But I guess I never felt that it was anything that anybody else wasn't already feeling, or at least to an extent, if they were approximately that age or something. And in other words, I never wanted to feel that highly of myself to think that, well, I'm going to write a song that's going to change the world, because no, I'm not. I'm just here's some lyrics, because the rest of the band gave me a song and like, well, Popeye, you gotta like write some lyrics so you can sing. So it's like, okay, well, here's something that happened to me yesterday. But I really, really, really believe that it's not an unusual story that anybody else ever has. Maybe there could be a special little bow put on it, or some onomatopoeia. And what was that special word that you used to?
Sisyphusian? I'm not sure if Sisyphusian.
Yeah, I'll pull that one out of my arsenal. Onomatopoeia.
But here's what you're doing, though. You're saying, yeah, we all feel these things. Yes, and I agree with you. Yeah. Yes, we all feel the human experience. But there are a very special, select subset of humanity that can express that human condition in a way that's relatable and enjoyable.
Right.
So you can say, yeah, we're all humans. Yeah, no shit. You and me are both we are equal in every way. We are zero cosmically, because eventually we'll all be dust that floats around, space.
That is true. Can't wait.
You can take the plight of the normal man and express it in a way that's pleasing. Me, I complain. You make a poem into a piece of art and a song and an album and build upon that for an entire career, while I shout about video games and people who annoy me at work and how close my office is to the bathroom.
But to be fair, because I'm not accepting that, I'm gonna volley that
you don't have
right
to.
Back over the net to you. I'm allowed to put it into a more tangible form, like on a record or a CD or something.
Yes.
Which is only part of my life and my thoughts. And the rest of the time, well, I never complain about anything. I just walk around all day, just
making meal
gadding
plans
about the house, and what a glorious life. Not at all. No, I'm fucking, I same thing. Like I don't want to get out of bed. I just don't want to get out of bed, but I have to. And
it's being human.
And and it's being human, and I do the other stuff. But when you put it into an artistic form, it may seem like, well, this is what you do and this is what your life is all the time, when in fact it's not even remotely true. I've talked about the cats and the meal planning. And
true.
Of course, so maybe
But here's where I will volley back. Here's where I will disagree.
Yeah. I'm also getting sufficiently drunk, so I can't finish a sentence right now.
Me too. That's why I'm going to cut you off and barge right in here with this.
Can we take a pause and get another refill, or do you want to just cut it off? I don't know what is your son crying or something, or
I'm cutting you off because I've got a point to make that disproves what you're saying.
All right.
Fine. So let's say when I was an electrician, here's the impact we have on the same person. Let's say some person somewhere gets out of the car and they've got earbuds in. They're listening to your favorite train wreck. They're listening to Far Side or whatever. I don't give a fuck. It's something of yours that they connect to. They walk into that building, and it's a building I happen to have been a part of and maybe supplied the electricity to the elevator. And so when they push that button, they are allowed to travel up and down, free as a bird through space in all three dimensions. Do you think if when they walk out the building, if you had a clipboard and you say, what do you think was the most impactful experience you had? Was it listening to that awesome music that connects to human? Yeah. Or was it pushing that fucking button?
Yes, exactly. Pushing that fucking button.
See, now I thought
way more important.
For sure, more important, but not more impactful. Important on a day-to-day mechanical style, yes. But
hey, dude, I've ridden a lot of elevators, and when they don't work, that's a fucking pain in the ass. But when they do, I got to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck about what's playing in the thing. But
here, an elevator, if it works, you stay neutral. If it breaks, you suck. If a song, if you're listening to a song, it can elevate you. An elevator, listen, this is not a pun also. An elevator may lift you physically, but will not lift you emotionally. And so the physical manifestation of a lift going up to a third floor loft is way less important than the emotional pickup of a punk rock song from 1992.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Are you possibly suggesting that elevator music... Just in case you get stuck somewhere, the music that's being piped through, should be the best thing that's happening.
No.
And you're assuming that the music's still gonna work in the first place?
No, I'm not even saying anything close to that.
God, I'm confused right now.
Let me break it down.
My God.
Let me write. I'll make a chart.
I don't understand electricity or elevators.
I'm gonna break it down. Trust me. Here, I'll break it down so simple you'll get it. We have a human being. Let's call him Gary. He gets out of a car in a parking lot, and he's walking through the parking lot. He's got a couple of AirPods in. He's listening to your favorite train wreck. I realize it's an 8-year-old album, but it's still poignant. So he's listening to it and going into a building, and he goes, I got to go some appointment. I'm psyching myself up while listening to this music for this appointment I hate. Push the elevator button, bing, it lights up. He goes up. Goes to the meeting, comes back down. Now, if you were to corner that man in the parking lot and convince him you weren't going to murder him, and you asked him, like, hey, of the last 20 minutes of your life where you were listening to music and then you pushed a button that got you higher elevation-wise than you were before, what would you feel is most impactful? I'm not talking about the elevator music. I'm talking about the literal act of supplying electricity to a machine to lift a human body. Not as important. As the music.
It's
the
true.
Music. Okay.
We can go back to living in caves. We cannot give up music.
No, I totally understand that. I suppose it is a matter of perspectives because I have played music and you have not.
Played a little back in the day. I was in a couple bands. Nothing.
Really?
Literally to ever mention because it was
really
pointless.
Well. Yeah, I know what our next episode is going to be about.
I was a bass player at some point, maybe in the early 2000s.
No way.
Yeah, I've got
you son of a bitch. Like I don't do anything interesting. Oh, I was in a couple of bands. Yeah, you talk shit about me holding out on you. You're fucking holding out on me, motherfucker.
Listen,
but you're Popeye.
Here, let me fill you in.
I'm a fucking guy in Scranton who lives with a vegan wife and a bunch of animals, and I'm worried about meal planning.
But you're in Scranton now. You weren't in Scranton before.
Do a quick Google search and see how much praise Popeye Vogelsang gets versus how much anything I get.
Hey,
anything.
Dude, here's the thing. When I walk into an elevator, I just want to fucking get out alive. That's what I'm thinking about. I can give a fuck what I don't fucking care about. I don't care about what song was playing before, during, or after. I want to get out of that fucking thing alive. That's it.
That's a laser focus.
Yeah. Oh, it could be I just want to hear the girl from Ipanema, and I want to be done. I don't want to get there.
Get me to that goddamn appointment, says Popeye.
That's it. Give me that. And if you're lucky, you'll hear Your Love from the outfield. That's the best day of your life. He's on a vacation far away. Best day of your life, automatically.
Who is an artist do you think gets too much shit proportionally? Like Barry Manilow obviously gets a lot of shit, but he's a talented man.
Oh,
I think but his branding is very like Branson, Missouri, so no one gives a fuck. But super talented, like the Carpenters. So who do you think is underappreciated that you like, or maybe has a bad rap, or there's bands out there that I love that I think get too much shit.
I never really understood why people loved and then suddenly hated Hootie and the Blowfish. I mean, what did they ever do?
It was a perfect storm. I read this.
What did they ever do to anybody?
Nothing.
Like, they wrote some good songs, and like, they were nice guys. And you know what? I don't want to get cliche. I don't want to get all about Nickelback, because everyone likes to, but you know, even foreign countries like Nickelback and the state of New Jersey are an automatic, easy punchline, and the city of Cleveland. Blah 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 blah. Well, it's not as bad as Cleveland. It's not. No, blah, blah, blah. Well, New Jersey. Well, not as bad as Nickelback. It's like, what did they ever do at anything? What did they ever do to anybody? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, New Jersey, I'll cut New Jersey and Cleveland slack. Nickelback has been assaulting us for decades.
I don't know. I don't like Jersey.
But they're...
I beg your pardon? Are we not going to be best friends anymore? Have you ever been there?
Yes.
I know you're from Connecticut, but there's a reason why it's called the Garden State. Have you seen the trees?
I heard about the movie.
It's beautiful.
There's a crazy like abandoned insane asylum out there in Jersey that I would really like to go see and poke around.
All right.
Come out. I'll visit.
We'll meet at the insane asylum.
No, I got a lot of friends in New Jersey. I'm just kind of wondering, Krista, what are your thoughts
about Jersey?
Yeah,
I'm open.
The Jersey Shores.
But I think Jersey got stereotyped. Like, listen, I'm going to tell you right now that Arizona is at the bottom of a lot of lists right now.
Agreed.
Well, sure.
But I know people personally who should go beyond that list. Me, for example.
Right.
Others. But here's the thing. So you can't say Arizona is a complete wash. Just like you can't say Jersey is a complete wash.
That's true.
It's just a different flavor of douchebag. Here you have a southern fried country boy douchebag. And out there, you have an orange spray tan Guido haircut sort of.
They had the Snooki.
That is true. That is true on the shores.
Completely different subspecies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Same idea.
But like most of it's a little more, it's a little more rural. Like, they got great bagels and Taylor ham, which is really nice. Good people. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding around. But
I actually do not love Jersey.
So I go to Connecticut and it's all like everybody's house is white. Is that
true.
What I'm supposed to? Yeah.
Is that what I'm supposed to? That's what you think. It's like, I go to Connecticut, everybody has a white house. Is that it?
I mean,
yeah.
Connecticut.
I can volley that back to you, Krista. It's like, oh, nice house. Great.
I mean, that's
nice
why, you know why I'm not there anymore. I mean,
yeah, because you like more beige houses.
I do.
Arizona.
Listen, you come out Southwest if you like taupe.
Yes, taupe is my favorite color.
You want a white house, you stay back east. You want to take a step up to taupe, you visit the Southwest.
And congratulations if you know how to spell it.
I think ever since that episode of Mad About You, I've just been enamored. If you get that reference,
I'm gonna pretend to. No, I used to like that show. I don't remember that particular episode, but
it was one of those shows that was on after school, so I would like listen to it as I did homework.
Oh my God, how old are you?
37.
30 is okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's another cruel hand I think fate dealt me, because when you were releasing Rochambeau, I was like, fuck, what year was it? I was 9 years old.
What year was it?
Yeah.
92.
1992.
Ooh. I was 4.
And,
hey, thanks.
But the thing is,
Good night, everybody.
She makes me feel terrible too.
I'm just fucking with you guys.
But here's the thing: since I was so young at that time, I was basically at the whim of the older relatives that I had. So my cousins got me into metal, like Metallica, and all the heavy shit, like from the '90s. And I completely missed the punk wave. Which was a bummer, but since recorded media doesn't go anywhere, I get to enjoy it now. But it's like when you discover a food that you take a bite of, you're like, what the? And your mind is blown. Like, why haven't I been eating this my entire life?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been living that experience solidly for the past 3 years.
Oh,
I mean, like,
wow.
everything I try that's new, I'm like, oh my God, what the why haven't I?
Well, like what, for example?
Like, I tried like bell peppers the other day, not the other day, but this year
That
for the
was
first time.
The first time you've had a bell pepper. Oh my God.
No, but the first time I gave it a legitimate chance. Like, I would see them and I would taste them.
What does that mean? Like, how did you cook it? How did you
I ate it raw. I chopped that bitch in half and I took a bite out of it.
No, that was your foray into, it's time for bell pepperism. And so
I was getting into eating healthy, and they're like, hey,
good for
bell
you.
pepper's got a lot of good shit in it.
Yes,
so I was like,
they do.
God damn it. So I bit into it and I was like, oh my God.
So like okay, so you live in Arizona. You'd never had like, have you ever had like a burrito or a taco?
Totally. Yeah.
But there was never did you just say, well, hold the pepper?
Peppers and onions, I was like, too aggressive. Onions are still on my shit list, but peppers have moved up until edible.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Yeah, no, because a lot of vitamin C, good antioxidants. No, but see, again, I find your life very interesting because it's like, really, so can we I'm gonna use one of your terms. Can we unpack? Can we unpack about bell peppers a little bit? Let's talk about bell peppers a little bit.
It's not a huge story,
but no, dude, I always have bell peppers in my fridge. I'm a fucking stickler about my produce. So let's talk about bell peppers, and then we're gonna talk about onions because they're even better for you. So tell me.
Yeah, I know about onions and how they're good there, but the thing was like when people, maybe it's, especially growing up, the way the food is offered to you plays a huge role, because if you are related to someone who is a terrible cook and you were offered a new food cooked terribly, you were going to hate that shit.
So you grew up with horrible food?
Not necessarily horrible food, but just like
a horrible cook.
Like I grew up as a product of the 80s food pyramid, where everything was like, it's all bread, it's all grain. It was very the top of the pyramid really tapered off.
Sure.
And that's part of it. It's like part of it was, it was never around, and the other part was when it was around, it was like this weird thing because it wasn't a staple. And when, obviously you can look back, like I remember the first time I had pepper jack cheese and it exploded my brain into a million pieces.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like I didn't wait that long, obviously, but I remember being like, oh my God. Again, if it's offered to you in a way that's prepared badly, it will ruin you for that food until you're old enough to be like, gotta move past it.
Yeah. I guess I've never had it offered to me in a way that was prepared badly. Would you care to elaborate about how it was offered to you?
If vegetables are given to you that are like way overcooked or just prepared in a way that like you would steam broccoli, you wouldn't like fry it, or you would whatever create, like if you overcook a pepper, it will turn to just like pepper flavored jelly, and you lose the pleasant experience of the crunch and
it's a texture thing.
Yeah. Well,
it's like mushrooms.
And like how you want your burger or your steak cooked, and you want it all.
So the first time it's presented to you, it can be a tipping point, because someone can say, "Oh, here, try this. I made it,"
and that stuck with you for all these years until a few months ago, and then you tried it again.
Yep.
Well, that's great that you tried it again, and recognizing, and you're having your low carb alcoholic drink, and that's good. That's progress. 2 carbs a can.
No. but that's part of it too. I think I can split humanity into 2 more populations. There are the type of people who will eventually come, realize the faults of their youth and try something new. And there are those who stick doggedly to them and eat chicken nuggets until they die.
Yeah, I envy those people. I want to eat chicken nuggets until I die, but I know I can't.
Ignorance is bliss. That is the most true statement anyone will ever say to you.
Yeah, that's man, that's all I think about. I just want double bacon cheeseburgers and wings and just like a bucket of ranch dressing and just just dump it on my head and I'll lick it off.
If I could just check out intellectually for like one weekend a month.
Yeah.
Just to be like, forget all the critical thinking, forget all the analytics, forget all your hang-ups. Just be like one of those dudes who's like, yeah, I'm going to the river this weekend. What the fuck up? You know? Be one of those dudes.
Drink beer and not put suntan lotion on.
Just be a simple, easiguing guy who has no reason to examine his existence any further.
Oh, I don't want my wife to... Well, she knows. I try to explain to her that occasionally she'll go out of town for like a work related thing, and she'll ask,
it's like a mini vacay.
Yeah, well, it's a work thing, and she's just going out for a weekend, and I'm like, okay, well, and then she knows, what are you gonna do? Well,
everything.
I just want to try to, and it's not because I'm happy that she's going away. I'm trying to make myself feel better about her not being here, because I'm going to miss her. So I stuff myself with the worst fucking thing. And so I'll drive her to the airport. And then on the way back from the airport, I go to Walmart and just buy the crappiest stuff. And I'm like, well, frozen jalapeno pepper. Yep. That's only $1.99. Great. And then it only happens for like 2 days. And I'm like, and I become George Costanza. I'm like, this block of cheese is only, it's on sale on marked down for 50 cents. Yep. I'm just going to take my shirt off and sit on the couch and watch the sports and just do that thing. But after 2 days, I'm just dying for Brussels sprouts. But I get it.
I get it.
You kind of just,
If I lived on the half of this country that possessed a White Castle, there is a good chance you would see me on an episode of My 600-Pound Life.
Oh, don't. Yeah. It's,
I moved to Chicago for a little while, and someone was like, one of my buddies was like, try a White Castle. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't see what all you guys care about. And then, like clockwork, 12 hours later, the middle of the night, I snap upright in bed in a cold sweat, and you just go, White Castle.
Your body starts sending you messages, and you're like, okay. Well,
completely addictive.
This is the time to reassess everything that I've been doing in the first place. Yeah.
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 We all have those critical moments. And that's the thing. You cannot beat yourself up for a stumble, because you can turn a stumble into a complete tailspin. If people were okay with like fucking up every once in a while, there'd be a lot less like disgusting relapses. And you wake up and there's just like White Castle wrappers everywhere and mustard all over your face and onions in your hair.
What a great night.
A bender every once in a while.
I appreciate your point. One of the few things I miss about living on the West Coast is I was a 2-minute drive from a 24-hour Jack in the Box.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and admit that Jack in the Box has always been my favorite restaurant, even though it's questionable to call it a restaurant.
Very.
It was always my favorite restaurant. The tacos and the stuff, and when you were having one of those nights where, like, it was almost like you just wanted to raise your middle finger to the entire universe and just say, "Hey, fuck you, motherfuckers! I'm going to fucking Jack in the Box. I'm coming back to my." And
that's a fuck you move.
And just like smear it all over your chest while you're laying on the couch while you're picking things off and eating it. And oh man, I do miss that about California. I'll tell you that.
There's something about the reptilian brain that when you can engage it fully, like after a certain amount of alcohol or something, and you are purely moving on instinct, like for whatever reason, your first instinct in every occasion is to do self-harm, like to drink more, to eat stuff you shouldn't. Like it's always a downward spiral. So I think all of us feel a little guilty for even existing, and booze or whatever your inebriant is sort of unlocks that. And you're like, yeah, I know we're headed toward the same place. Let's kick it into high gear.
Yeah. I know you're on the West Coast, but out here, there's a chain of gas station mini markets called Turkey Hill.
Okay, yeah, I know of Turkey Hill.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. I've been back east a few times.
Okay, yeah, and you can get a sandwich and a pack of smokes and whatever, any variety of soda pops that you could possibly be remotely interested in, didn't know existed. Like, I didn't know Mountain Dew had a watermelon flavor.
Mountain Dew will surprise you because
they do surprise
there's a very
you.
small section of the public that follows it, and that ain't me, brother.
Yes, they do, and nor am I. It's just when I go there when it's like, okay, you could either try to rip the skin off your face, or maybe go out of the house and go to the Turkey Hill and just wander around for a few minutes, because no one's going to hassle you.
Free.
Yeah, no one's going to bother you. You could spot the security guard and like, hey, how you doing, bro? Cops standing out in the parking lot, like, hey, I wasn't speeding. But then you go in there and it's like, I'm like, okay, well, this sandwich, well,
yeah.
Okay, well, but you know what? I want to take you on. I'm like a pro wrestler when I go to Turkey Hill. I'm like, okay.
It becomes a challenge in your mind. It becomes a challenge.
Yeah, I want to take
I'm the
you
same
home,
way.
and I'm just gonna roll around with you on the living room floor, and then I'm gonna throw some vegan mayonnaise on you and some mustard and stuff, and just I'm gonna eat and see what happens. And if I wake up tomorrow, then it's a victory. But
back before I had a hard limit against things that would do my body harm while not drunk, I would love me a couple corn dogs. I would go. I sold cars for a while. Now, don't blow this out of proportion, but I blow.
Dude. Shit.
I worked at a car dealership for a couple of years.
Now you have another occupation. You son of a bitch.
My resume is long and interesting.
Well, I was also the ambassador of Lithuania for a couple of minutes. Sorry, I didn't mention that. And the Queen of Spain and I used to.
But the only notable thing that happened was my addiction to corn dogs.
That's not an addiction. That's just a natural response.
I don't think so.
Can we talk about your relationship to the Queen of Spain for a minute?
For a little. I mean, I had to sign an NDA, so there's not much I can say. But
jerk.
I'll
You think I'm interesting? Really, dude? Come on. Shut up. Shut up.
Listen to me. You are lucky this is not a live show, because I would be overwhelming you with the popular vote, my friend. Now that we're here mano a mano and it's the Electoral College and all of our votes are the same, you get to trash and down talk all of my ups all you want.
All right.
But with a crowd, I win, sir.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Whatever you say.
Oh my gosh. Well, Popeye, I feel like I have taken up plenty of your time.
Yeah. No, I want to talk about how you were the ambassador to Hungary, if we may.
I think we should save that for the live stream.
Okay. That works. Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom anyway, so it's probably...
Yeah, so let's just start wrapping up the show before you run off and tinkle. Okay. Let's just say, hey guys, this has been a dream. Personally, has been a dream come true. Krista had to run off because Elliot was making noise or something, but I'm sure she echoes my statements. So, Popeye, at the end of the show, we like to throw out staff recommendations. So, honorary member of the staff, what would you like to recommend to our listeners that maybe, it could be something as simple as a favorite restaurant or something complex, whatever you think that people should have their eyes, ears on. What is it?
Hey, the animal shelters are overflowing with cats.
True.
If you're not able to adopt, you can at least foster for a temporary time. Sorry for being a little jittery. I wasn't expecting this, but
the end always comes abruptly.
Everybody at this time is home most of the time. So if you have the space and you have the means, think about just taking home somebody to foster for a little while.
Krista wants a cat so bad, and there was one cat I fell in love with, and then my heart was broken, and I can't go back.
Well, we got. You want me to send you one? We got plenty.
I know you do. You collect them like garbage pail gift cards.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So, yeah,
I'm sorry. That was a very lame outro, Dave. I'm sorry. I wasn't. expecting that.
that's legit. Like that's something you believe in. I can get behind that.
Yeah, it just took a little longer. If you would like to do that again,
sure.
If you want, and I can tidy it up a little bit.
I think the genuineness of it is what will come through. I don't think it's necessarily the pronunciation or the delivery, but it's the message, Popeye.
Oh God! All right, if you say.
So,
Fuck.
I'm going to also. So since this episode went so long, you are probably listening to this second half on a different day.
Oh, thank God.
But we're still going to do the stream, and since this is probably the second half, you've already heard it, so there's nothing left to plug. So do what Popeye says. My recommendation is be like Popeye. If you can look at something critically and not be an asshole about it, literally in any aspect, do it. That's the new slogan of the show. Be like Popeye.
And drink more vodka.
Drink more vodka, or
it's low in carbs. You have a low carb house.
That's true. Vodka is relatively low carb, so that's usually my go-to for if I'm going harder than cans.
Good man. Yeah, when you're not in the mood for a White Claw.
Yeah, sometimes somebody said like White Claw was the vaping of the alcohol world, and I was like, oh, you're right though.
Yeah.
Bummer. Anyway, guys, sorry to leave it on such a downer note, but I am going to say again that this was a dream come true. Having Popeye on the show once again is a dream come true.
Really didn't.
I'm looking. Listen, here's what this is the hype. I'm looking forward to the stream. I'm looking forward to the music. I'm looking forward to every future interaction. So if you like this even a little bit, there's more to come. So fucking, you're gonna love it. And I guess that's it. So until next week, once again, Popeye, thanks for giving me so much of your time.
Thank you, David.
And also offering it to me again next week.
No, it's my pleasure, and I hope you and your lovely wife and your son Elliot have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And thanks for listening to me talk. Okay,
yeah, anytime. We will be talking to you soon.
All right.
See you next week, guys.
All right.
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.